From taking on the music industry to taking on the game of Survivor, Thomas is one of the newest castaways setting sail to Fiji for the all new season of Survivor. Thomas joins me now. Thomas, I'm pumped to get to speak to you a little bit this morning. How are things?
Things are great. I cannot believe we are about to start this adventure.
I know. Another season, an all new set of castaways, and you are one of the featured cast members this season. So, congratulations on that. But tell me, just first and foremost, kind of tell me a little bit about yourself and why you wanted to be on Survivor.
How much time do you have? So Survivor, I'm a newbie when it comes to Survivor. I started watching in 2022, so I'm a pandemic Survivor baby. But I'm a completist, so I watched 42 seasons that were out in 9 months. So you can say that I got hooked rather quickly. And as I was watching it, I just kept thinking, I want to do this. I want to see what I'm made of. Like, can I handle this? And then I saw Mike White in 37, and that was my green light to say, you know what? You can be in the entertainment industry and then go make a total fool of yourself on national television, and everything is fine. You get to make the White Lotus afterwards. So that was my green light, and I said, let's hit the ground running and let's see what you're made of.
Okay, the thing I love about that is I am also I don't know how you described it, but I also started Survivor in the pandemic. And so that's when I became obsessed. And so I love that someone else is that too, because sometimes I feel ashamed that I haven't been watching it for 20 years. But
Do not be ashamed.
hey, you
Don't
know
let
what?
those
We probably know
people.
more about the show than people that have been watching it that long. So what does that really say, you know?
Correct. We compressed it all. It doesn't
Yes.
matter. It's like, did you cram for the test and did you still get an A or did you
Yeah.
study for 2 weeks? It doesn't. No one's thinking about
It
that.
doesn't matter. Yes. Now, as I tease and as you mentioned as well, you do work in the music industry. So I'm curious, how do you think maybe your experience in your career in the music industry is going to prep you or help you in this game?
Oh, that's a great question. I think every single thing I learned in the music business has prepared me to play Survivor because music is all about relationships. It's about taste. It's about work ethic. It's about follow through. It's about maybe telling a lie here or there, and getting away with it. So literally, it was like all of the skills that make me good at my job or have helped me find success, thank God, have really helped me or should help me in Survivor.
Yeah. Now, without giving anything away, what's kind of your strategy heading into the game? Like, are you someone that, like, going in, you're like, okay, I'm going to lay more low, or are you like, no, I'm playing hard from the jump?
Okay, so my strategy approaching Survivor was I didn't want anyone to know what I actually did for a living. That is like, that feels like a red flag. Let's get rid of him. Like, we're not giving him $1 million type of energy, which, like, honestly, fair. So my strategy was to lay low, kind of turn down my personality, and not be this big social threat, because honestly, I feel like that is kind of my number one skill set. So we got to blend in a little more and let the loud people be louder, even though I'm probably the loudest or one of them.
Hey, blending in is not always a bad thing, especially in Survivor. I think it just depends on how long you blend in, right? So I'm excited to see kind of what that looks like for you. But speaking of that, allies are important, right, in this game. So what kind of ally are you looking for? What kind of people are you kind of hoping to align with?
Okay, so I think one of my number one qualities just in life is that I'm a really loyal person. So I'm like a ride or die. Like, if I'm on your team, we are the best team. It doesn't even matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm on your team, I will defend us to the very end, like, viciously. So I want someone that I feel comfortable doing that with, right? I approach the game and I think there's a lot of, especially in the new era, energy about when you have a final two, cutting your final two before you get to the end as like a move. And I like can respect that in certain instances, but I feel that my approach to the game and my gameplay is strong enough that even if I'm sitting at the end with my final two, the two of us, that's part of my strategy. That's like a badge of honor. Like, I don't want to make me cutting my number one the reason I win the game. I want to win the game because like created this environment where we both got to the end and it's all my plan.
Yeah, I have excuse me, I have so much respect for that as a super fan because that is one thing that has really been, in my opinion, a little bit in poor taste in this kind of newer era. Is everyone has to like feels like they have to cut their ally. I'm like, why? Keeping your number one to the end and proving you can beat them, I think, is stronger than cutting everyone out just to get an easy win at the end.
Girl, I'm like a Parvati, Suri, Natalie Bolton, like Amanda fan from 16 from
Yeah.
Fans versus
Uh
Favorite.
huh.
That's what I want. I
Yes.
want to be at the end with my Black Widow brigade of
Yeah.
girls and gays, like taking on the power. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Absolutely.
like cutting my girly pops. Like, no,
No, it
I don't want
makes
to sit at the end with
yeah,
like people I don't love. Like,
yeah,
get
it
out of
makes
here.
no sense. I don't understand that. Now, okay, going a little deeper here. Anything that you're specifically hoping to gain out of being on Survivor, maybe outside of game, especially in this new era, we've seen the storytelling aspect come into play. And we see a lot of people going on the show for reasons outside of obviously winning the $1 million and proving that they can do it.
Yeah. So when I applied to the game, I think one of my biggest fears was like the casting process is all about being yourself, right? You want to let the show and the producers know who you actually are so they can make their decisions. And you have to be authentic the entire time. And I think part of my job is to get the job done by any means necessary, which is great in Survivor. But having to go through the process of getting on the show, I had to like pull back all the layers and be like, this is me. Like, do you want me? Take me or leave me, which is the scariest thing I've ever done. So then by the time I was like, getting to go and play the game, I have in my mind that I want to be myself. I like want to be the authentic version of myself. And even though I'm like hiding what I do for a living and lying about stuff like that, I just want to approach myself and be able to watch the show and be like, yeah, that's me. And I'm really proud of you for doing that because that's the scariest thing ever. So that's what I want to get out of it. I want to be an authentic person and I want people to see me for who I actually am. And I want to have a lot of fun, like a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, and I think people will take a liking to that and find a lot of appreciation in that because your career doesn't define you. Your career is not who you are. You are who you are, right? So I think that what you're saying is incredible. Now, I heard you throw out a few names already, but I am curious who are maybe some of your favorite kind of past Survivor players? Who are you hoping to maybe play similarly to if you had to say?
Okay, that's easy. It's Sophie Clark. Like
Okay, tell me
that.
more.
She is so smart. I mean, she was like on a tribe where like people were doing like prayer circles and she's not a believer. And she like just like stepped right in and held everyone's hand and like led prayers. And I was like, girl, like that is so diabolical. I love it. But she also knew when like she needed to step forward and like win challenges and like lead her alliances. She's just crazy smart and I admire her in the game and out of the game. I think she's an incredible player and an incredible person.
That's a name that I don't think gets enough respect. And so it is really interesting hearing you say that because she played such a strong game. And on paper, in a lot of ways, the odds were almost like stacked against her in a sense on her season. And it looked like a lot of other people were going to beat her out, but she fought her way to the end and she did it. So I think that's a great person to emulate after. Now, Thomas, my final question for you. Gotta ask it. Why do you think you have what it takes to become Soul Survivor?
Oh, what a fun question. Um, I feel like I have what it takes to become Soul Survivor because I feel like I can get along with any person under the sun, but not in a way that feels threatening. I think that my superpower is that I actually like listening to people and learning where they're from and what makes them tick, but not in a way that I think feels disingenuine because it's not. So I think I'm someone who can just figure out whatever tribe I'm on. I can figure out whatever situations on tribes, like merges, whatever it may happen in the game. I feel like I can kind of read the room and see what I need to do to like get to the end, if that makes sense.
Hey, being able to read the room is a skill that not everyone has. And so I am excited to see kind of how that plays out for you on this season. So, Thomas, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. I'm excited to see how you do on Survivor Season 48. You guys do not miss it right here on CBS.
And shout out Chapel Row in Springfield, Missouri. Woo!
Yes, 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 yes.